Hey Stampers, Gaynor again, and I'm coming back with a play of these gorgeous stamp set. Now I've got the dies coming this weekend, but I'm going to show you how I made a beautiful Christmas card with just this image and this beautiful sentiment. And it took me quite a while to make it, so I'm going to be doing it in stages with you. I've already stamped the inside. It's just the bottom end of the flower and the leaves, which I'm just gonna go over because this is thick card anyway. It does go through, but it's going on the inside of the card, so it's not like it's gonna be seen through. So I'm just going up. This is the dark granny apple green, just to give some extra colour. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But it's a really cute stamp set, and it wasn't until after I saw people doing videos with it that I thought I really like that. Now I need new blends. Right there now, my OBS studio. Do you want to activate my service? No thank you, I want to see my screen. Don't you just hate pop-ups? Especially when you're doing something else. So this is just for me to decorate the inside of the card. Why am I all the way over there? I keep forgetting, see these black marks on my desk? This is my viewing station. I end up sometimes over here because my arms are stretched to the max. Yeah, this is Granny Apple Green Light. My other nib end, oh, it's ruined. Can you see? All the ink colour has come out of it, and I've literally got a bend all the way down to this darker section. And the only thing is now you can't buy them singular, you've got to buy them in pairs, which is a bit unfair. So this is my dark real red, and I'm just literally going around the outside of each of these berries. I will be doing a bit more colouring in a bit. I just want to set the card up ready for the inside, and then I'm using, because I don't really use these very often, but you have to turn your nib. If you're going to do quite a bit of colouring, turn your nib every couple of minutes, because that's how you end up squashing your nibs or pressing a little bit too hard. And you don't really need to press hard with the blends. I'm going to be using them again, but that's going on the inside of my card. I'll show you the card we're going to make now, and it's this. Absolutely beautiful. So I have no dies at the moment, so this is partial fussy cutting. So I basically cut round the outside of all the image. I've stamped in each corner, and it's all connected in the centre. I haven't cut any of this centre part out. I've literally just cut all around the edges. And I've also, I did these when I did the bear cards. I'd already run quite a few of these. Is my bulb on its way out or something? I'd already run quite a few of these through the bone folders. Through my embossing folders, so I've got quite a few. There's a shadow coming from somewhere, and it's really doing me head in a little bit. That better? Yeah, there we go. So it's all. This is, what was that folder called? Let me have a nose quick. Oh, this was from a few years back. Winter Snow, it's called. Now there's a new one out with snowflakes, which I've got coming this week as well, and snowfall. So no snowflakes and snowfall. So that's an old one I'm using at the moment till I get my new ones. And what I did was I stood this on dimensionals, and I've swapped the cards around. This time I had Granny Apple Green with Cherry Cobbler. This time I'm having Cherry Cobbler with Garden Green this time. So I'm just using bits that were in my scraps bin. This is 4 inches by 3/4. This is a tad smaller than my green cardstock, which is a tad smaller than my card once it's been folded. So let's fold. I love doing this with the Stampin' Up cardstock. You don't need to score. You can just do it with your finger. And your edges, I think that's off my, look, if you pull these two together, you've got that perfect balance. So my card is going in the center there, just for decoration. And then I've got my green card, which this is 4 1/8 by 5 5/8. So this is 5 3/4 by 4. I think I may take another tiny slice off there. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I'm just going to take literally a 16 off, just so I've got that equal balance. So let's have a look. I've never really been a one for traditional cards, reds and greens. But after I made this one, and then this is cut at 3 7/8. Or just over 3 7/8. Let's do this, make sure this is 5 5/8. Oh, it was just a bit shorter by 3 7/8. And I mean, it's a fraction I've just taken off. So I'm making sure I've got all my layers first. I'm not going to glue the green down yet, because I'll glue that once I've put the white on. If I don't show you this, or say don't move, how's that? I can layer all these up actually, but once I've got my cutout piece, I want to be able to add it, because my cutout, so my cardstock is the same size as my green, or it should be. Yeah, well, I might have to take a little fraction off that actually. So let's cut this to 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. See, I hadn't even cut my white cardstock down. So this is the one we're going to stamp on. Let's get my tape runner while we're here. I'm only going to add my embossed piece to my green, and then I'll add my green later once I've added that beautiful scene. I mean, it took me a while to fussy cut it out, and I'll show you what I've done in a bit now. I'll put my card to one side, layer up my embossed piece. Oh, I tell you what, this oh, that is close. So I'm going to set this to one side. So I've got my tiny little green border all the way around. That's going to look absolutely beautiful against the red. I do prefer, oh, I've used real red and Granny Apple Green. This is Garden Green and Cherry Cobbler this time. I don't need to swap my pens up, but I'll show you what I did. I used my, what's it called? Stamparatus. Let's just see, that's the inside. Absolutely beautiful. So I already pushed this, because I've got these misty corners that my beautiful friend sent me. She sent me a pack of 2. Yeah, there was a pack of 2 misty. I think there was something else. I think there was a ruler as well. So I love them. They go in the misty, but you can buy them and put them in your Stamparatus. So I have already placed my card. I don't really want to put magnets, close to magnets, and I've already got my pattern mounted. Now I've gone slightly off because I want to make sure I've got a good layer of pattern. So I've got my Memento black because I'm using blends, and I'm also use, you know what some people use their hands, I've got my bottle of shimmer spray which has still got all my shimmer in. It's cute. I just shake it up. And all I do is, you can buy tools that do this. Why would you buy a tool? Just use your glue bottle. Literally, use your glue bottle. Why would you go out and buy a special tool just to rub your dies down? I know why. Because I need to move that down. And just use anything solid to press your ink on your card. Perfect. And I know I can go back in if needs be, push that back in the corner, and I could stamp that again, but I'm not. Now I'm going to flick it round, making sure that's nice and straight. We're going to ink this up again and stamp. Thing is, now I'll have to clean my stamp, or I could reposition my corners. Beautiful. But I'd still have to clean. So if I know that's in that corner, is that gonna work? I don't think it will, but we can have a look. No, I would have to reposition. I've got a bit of inky fingers on there now. I'd have to literally clean that off. I'm going to set that to one side actually. Clean your stamp, reposition it, and then do the other two corners. So let me get my cleaning class. Clean that off. And then I'd literally have to reposition my paper. I'd have to reposition my stamp. And then I'd have to pick it up again, reposition. So I've got a bit of a smudge, so I will clean that up later. But here is one that I did earlier. So I'm just gonna leave that to one side for a moment. I will finish off the other card. Trust me, I love it. And then I'm just gonna show you what I did, but I'm not going to go all the way around because obviously I've got one prepared, otherwise we'll be here for ages. And you don't even have to be the neatest fussy cutter at all. I mean, I'm going to go over to this section now. This middle section is not going to get cut at all. I mean, I didn't have to do, I could literally cut down there because my sentiment piece is going across here. So I could work out where I want to cut. But, and I know this is the wrong way, but I'm just cutting around these highlight. I'm waiting to get the dies because I'm wondering, could I do this with the dies and do partial die cutting? So I will let you know, girls. But I just thought it would look, we've seen videos where people have done partial die cutting. We've seen videos where people have done partial embossing. I wanted to show a card with partial fussy cutting. Make a change. I just gotta watch that I don't cut any of my flowers off. So I'm just leaving bits, if you know what I mean. And then I'll come round from this side. And I'm literally, I will tidy this up a bit better before I put it on a card. Because I will do it for another card. Mr. Boyce is playing his games. He gets really boisterous on there. So I'm just die cutting. I mean, you don't have to do those and leave those tiny little bits, but what a difference it makes when you leave those tiny little. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see. So I'll go around the outside of the leaf, this leaf, and then I'll cut around. See, I've got the tiniest little bit there, so what I'll do is I'll show you what I did. Because no one's even going to know that that was there, I'm just taking it off. But I'm keeping the integrity of the outlet side. I'm not cutting anything off the edges. So this is the outline of the card. This now is going to be the outline. This top bit here is going to be the outline of that card at this end of the card. And it doesn't matter if I get really close. I don't have to leave a white border. And then I'm going to come down each of these prongs. And just remove, as I did on the other card. And then I'm going to really go to town and fussy cut all these bits out. So, can you see? Yeah. I'm going to just go in at a V. Oh, I've cut it off now. Don't worry, nobody knows. So, I'm just going to cut a V into there. I'm going to cut literally close. And then I can go in and cut a little V in there. And like I'm saying, most people would just literally cut just to give you the outline. Just leave a white outline like this. Let me show you. And then let me show you like that. But I'm trying to go in between, or is it me just being fussy? And then get to there, and I'm just going to go around. I am going to leave some white space on. It's up to you how much detailing you want to do. So that section. But now I'm going to go down there. And then I'm going to cut around and get as close as I can to there. So I've literally got all these little details around the outside. But this is the edge. This is the edge. I'm keeping this as the edge. I mean, like this one now, I would go around there and down so far. And then cut those little shapes out. Oh, I could do that a little bit better, Gaynor. I was really careful on my first card. I will go back and tidy this up because it's definitely going on another card. So if you know what I mean, you can, it's up to you how much detail you want to cut out. I mean, I'm not going to cut too far down this one because I will lose that flat berry otherwise. So it's tiny integrity, if you know what I mean. So I take that little bit. So I've got the shape of the berry, I've got the shape of the holly, and I would literally carry on down here. You don't have to cut this centerpiece out, like I'm saying, and then I'd start here, cut down there, you know, and then all down there. But I've already got one finished. Let me just pick up my bits. I need a bin. I've got all this. I'm going to get myself a waste paper bin. I've got a recycle bag and it's hanging off my trolley. But it's a pain in the bum when I want to scoot something off my desk. I've got to put it into another container. So I've already got one cut. And as you can see, tiny little but you still can see the border of my card. So when I attach on there, you can see that it fits with this bottom card. Now all we got to do now is colour this, add dimensionals. So let's get to colouring again. I'm going to use, I'm just going to go down all these leafy bits, and again I'm not being too precise, I'm just making it look a little bit pretty. Where all the leaves are, you can do around the outside, but I'm even going to go down the stems of the berries. It's just so cute. Don't have to colour the centre, because like I say, in the centre of the card is going to get covered up, so you can just even decide where you want to colour. Gaynor's losing sight. There we go. But it won't take long to fill this card in. And it looks so effective. I mean, you couldn't mass produce these. I suppose these would be for people you wanted a really a special kind of someone you want to put some effort into do a card for. But I'm literally, you can tell I'm not taking my time. I ain't doing mamby-pamby. I'm trying to be precise. I'm just literally just going over the lines. And if I don't go over the line, but it looks like I've gone over the line, I don't mind. But you can see I'm not taking my time. I mean, I could literally go, oh, right there, get a perfect straight line. But I like this rushed element of this card. So I'm just going where the green should be, and with these spiky ones here, that's it, that's my green. But I'm going to go back in now with my, I know this is going to be the longest bit because my nib's knackered. But it's not really, there's not that many leaves to fill in. And they will blend down. And again, I'm not, you know, if I go over the line, I go over the line. If I don't go over the line, I don't go over the line. But I think my nib, can you see that? Getting carried away, see? My nib on the other end is knackered, but it's darker. And I've got to try and guide the bottom bit. So again, I'm not really sticking. It's not got to be perfect. It's just all that cute detail. See, I'm using the back of the nib. I seriously have to get some more pens. So let's move that. Let's go. Oh, we are. I forgot to fill in my green bits. Or did I not? I just did all the dark first. So I can turn the nib now. I wish they'd sell us new nibs because it would be so quicker to just add new nibs. I wish they did refills. They do refills for the ink, which you can use on your marker pens because they're ink-based markers, but they don't refill the ink. And the nibs, look at that, it's absolutely shattered. I wonder what it looks like if it comes out, if it's different on the inside. I haven't really thought about it, so let's have a look. Oh no, look, see. Oh, I'm gonna get my fingers dirty. Let me grab a tissue. Look, you can't even go inside, I don't think. Well, you could, but you haven't got a precision tip. But yeah, I could do with new nibs, Miss Stampin' Up, please, because these don't last 5 minutes. Mind you, I'm saying don't last 5 minutes. I've had the pens a long time. I just haven't used them. Right, berries. Let's go back to our dark red. That's the light. And again, I'm just scooping the dark bits around the outside. It doesn't matter which side I go. But it looks effective once it's all done. I do like it. I was a bit selective on the buying at first. I was not going to bother with some of the sets. And there you go, I've just missed a leaf. Right in front of me. And look, I've even gone over the lines, but I don't care. No one's going to know that it's not meant to be like a watercolour. But for a special person in your life, it's worth sitting to do all that fussy cutting out. You could do it with anything. Just stamp it all around the edge. Doesn't have to be this card. I mean, you could do a full circle and leave it like that, but and then I've got the nib, which is still light new, and I'm just lightly doing it so you can see the blending. I mean, you could have coloured before you cut it all out even, but there's no need to faff around with even the colouring, because even this quick colouring, I mean, that looks beautiful. And if you've got any white bits, go back over them. But you can see the two-tone on the berries now. Look, the two-tone on that little berry. You can see the blending. It looks better up close, and I've just spotted another leaf I haven't done. Oh, I need to squash that back in. Let me grab my tissue again and push that back in even more. Oh, I've totally split it now. Look, it's knackered. But it's just a pen. Maybe I could have gone in with... I don't think they come out with the garden green. I'll have to check. I've got hundreds of the pens. Right, now let's flip over. I've got some dimensionals, and I'm just gonna add the small ones. I'm gonna see if I can get a small one. Oh, I just made it up there. It will take a fair few dimensionals, but like I'm saying, it's a special occasion card. And as long as you can't, you don't have to put it on every little bit, but I've got a new packet and they're black, these ones. I'm using all these older, oh, I don't want to come too close to the edge. I'm gonna get my scissors. I'm doing just the outer bits for now. Maybe I will put one there. And you might be thinking, oh, there's so many, but I'm going to use, we've got really long strips here, so cut and just keep cutting, and then you can use your pokey tool, flatten it down, and you know, say like that one without it going over. Let's see which else, this one here. Is it find like a small one? Oh, it's pretty big. You can cut these down even smaller. I think I should have cut them down a wee bit smaller, but I'm just going to balance it there, and then I'm going to throw a few large ones just in the four corners. Just like that. Let's get my, oh, let's just pop that to one side, get my Versamark. Where have I put my stamp? I've put it away by the looks of it. Yeah, I have. So let's get this beautiful sentiment. I'm just gonna literally throw it on the desk, make sure it lands the right way, and pick it up. And I'm gonna stamp, because if you just throw it down, and you can, if you try to place it, you can manipulate it into the wrong place. So if you throw it down on your desk and it's so your sticky side for the block is up, you know it's going to be perfectly straight, because Stampin' Up, fair play to them. I love their stamps, and the quality on their stamp sets are amazeballs. And I'm just going to stamp that in the centre. Beautiful. I'm going to set that to one side because my VersaFine takes a little bit longer to dry than most, and I need new cloths. I'm going to buy new cloths tomorrow. And I don't know why these have gone pink, because I've not stamped in red. Now normally my stamps come up beautiful and clean, but for some reason I've only used black ink on this and it looks orange. So whether they changed the quality of the stamp, I don't know, so I can't say, and they don't quote me because I don't know, but they never used to go other colours. So tape runner, let's get our inside put in. I love these cute little tape runners. And I purposely cut this a bit smaller so we could, because you're not going to be able to see much of the card on the outside, which is our cherry cobbler, but you're going to be able to see it on the inside as you open up this beautiful card. Isn't that cute? Love it. Right, we'll need that again in a moment. So now we're going to pick off, let me just zoom back out a bit, pick off all the dimensionals. And like I say, the reason I do the dimensionals with mark on the back, so when I remove apart from the black ones, you don't really need to because you can see that they're black, but the white ones, if I don't put a mark on, if I see like the lines, I know I've not taken the backing off. Press, 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 press. Once they're on perfect, the backs come off easy. So if you ever get a dimension and you're fighting with getting the back off, just squeeze it down and it comes off easy. So let me try to look, now I press it, comes off easy. Because you're fighting to pull it off the back, off its own. I never find the black ones come off easy. Get those off. I'll show you how I line this up then. Couple more to go. Quite a few on this one, but it's well worth it. Doesn't matter which way round now your card goes. I mean, you can look to see which is the nicest top and bottom. It doesn't matter which way it goes round here. So I've got my straight edge. You can see all them straight edges. And then I'm going to line it up with the bottom and keep my straight edge along this straight edge card. I don't know why it's gone off the top. It shouldn't have, but I'm not going to worry about that even, because I could go around and trim all that, but by the time I add it on my card base, it's definitely not hanging over the edge, because I can turn it over and see there's nothing hanging off. This one I'm going to just take one of this down. If you want to be precise, you can cut them off. I don't really see the point, as long as you can't see them on the other side of your card. I mean, again, you can look to see which is the best side. I'm going to have this at the top. Line this card up. Oh, that's beautiful. And again, flip it over. Oh, I've got a tiny little bit, so let's just take that tiny, I just don't want it sticking out from my green. But apart from that, that's the only little bit I took off, which you can't see because it's all sticking to my fingers. There it is. Beautiful. Our card's in. And this is going to go right along here. So I'm going to put a dimensional here and here, just to cover that center strip. I might just use these little mini black ones because there's not a lot of space I nearly need to cover, because I'm going to grab some glue just to go in along the center. Remove the back ends, press, press, and flick up the back ends, and then I can line up. This will go the same width as the green. Grab my bone folder. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Beautiful card. Now on this one, I went over the berries with my Wink Stella, and I added the gold metallic enamel effects. Now they do take a little bit to dry. I made a massive boo-boo here, so I tied up some of this beautiful crumb cake twine, and this stuck that down because I didn't use any glue whatsoever. But I got a few more gaps than this one, because I've repositioned my stamp, I'm just going to grab myself a bit of tissue just to make sure, because last time I had like an oil residue come out. And I'm just going to add a few little dots, and then at the base of some of these flowers like as well, and the bottom of the leaves, not everywhere, but I'm just going to fill in some of these gaps. At the bottom of the holly, wherever you feel you need it, and the bottom of this little bouquet here. So cute. It will take a bit of drying. A couple there, and then I'm going to spin it around because I don't want to put my hand in it. Just so cute. 3 there. And I'm thinking where I'm going to put my ribbon this time. And I think I will just put it back in this same spot here, but I'm going to add a blob of glue. It's not, well, it's this metallic stuff. I think that is adorable. Right, I've got my, I think it came in as the essentials pack. There was 5 of them. So let me find the end. There it is. And I just wrapped it around twice. Pulled it back so I'm not wasting any. So my tails, I just have a tiny little trim off for my tails. And close the pegs, lift it up and pull it off, and it shouldn't twist. My first one did. It was being naughty, so trim off. So that's the only little bit of waste I've got. Put that back. Got my Winker Stella. Now I'm going to where that little blob is there, I don't want to smudge, where that blob is there, I'm going to attach this ribbon. And she says putting her hand on it. I nearly missed it then and put my hand in there. I felt the top of my hand. And I'm just going to press. And it stays on. Look. Isn't that cute? Woohoo! So, right, now carefully, I go on that, because I need those gold bits to dry. I'm just gonna make sure I've got plenty of, I even flicked some on the card, so I don't care if it got splattered or not. I think it just adds to it. And I'm just touching because it will pick up them blend colours, and because it's got alcohol in, it tends to lighten them slightly in the centre to give me more of a blended look. And then wash it off in your hand, give it another squeeze, and then you can do all this flicky stuff. It's entirely up to you. I do need a new Winker Stella. I've filled that one a couple of times now. But there we have, without putting my fingers in these essentials, this is glued on and it's looking fine. And so we have now got the cherry cobbler and garden green. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? And then we've got the granny apple green and the real red. I love it. I absolutely love it. Just a case now of letting them dry. I didn't do any sparkle on the inside on the berries. Maybe I should. Let's see if that does anything. It's just a little nice surprise for when the person who you're going to give it to opens up the card inside. That's cool. I'll leave it open though. And mind you, I'll do this one after the front bit's dry because I've got to keep that open. Oh, she says closing it. So I'm just going to open it like that and show you. Was that worth it or not? I love it. Let's get a zoom in so we can show you Gaynor's little crafty tub. Let's get a zoom in. Oh, the battery's on the way out, so it won't let me. It never lets me zoom in when the battery is going. So I'll hold it up. It's just about to go. So there is that beautiful one. This is the one I've done before we started. I hope you like them. I'd love a thumbs up and a share. All glory to our great God and Saviour who gives me the ability to read these gifts. Because without him, we are nothing. So thank you for watching. Come back on the next video. And I love you all. Bye.